Hello there. Um, this is a piece what's always one resonated through what I've picked up listening and reading UFO stories. Um, the alien beings of all sizes. Quite often, we're not going to talk about but sizes and what they are, but quite often they'll always have a frequency element, whether they're being beamed up or uh, transferring the skies or actually manipulating what people see or an actual propulsion themselves. And when we think about this and we think about our ancient technologies, what we've lost and from the pyramids and even what we gain now, last 50, 60, 70 years, we know the government service has been doing mind control, MK Ultras, and we know they're still doing it. So we know the technology is out there, and without going to colours and frequencies and angles as well. We know certain angles and frequencies and sound affect our brain, and can then by putting them together, we know we can manipulate things. We know certain people can manipulate other people's brains more than others, and you can see why this whole thing. I remember quite often an alien being when they're talking to somebody, they'll say, well, quite openly, they'll say, we go somewhere, we think of it first, and then we go. More part of the machine is them. I mean, one of the stories I'll actually do it totally UFO technology, which I've come across. I mean, I like what I've seen. I like the Area 51 guy who told, what's his name? Um, I have no problems with any of the stories I've seen. I'll just tell you what I know, but that's another one. But this at the minute, it's all about frequencies, and we know they're there. I mean, we've been going for over 120 years. Nikola Tesla, um, Perry Curie. I think that's I'm saying his name right. I've known him for years as Perry Curie. I hope so. Uh, they say he couldn't heal things, but he was. He was actually healing things with frequencies in early 1900s. Nikola Tesla himself, master frequency, of making us a few elements of different things, which I actually copied myself and actually. So there's loads. Henry Moore, who what another fantastic guy. If you get a chance, have a look at Henry Moore and Perry Curie. Brilliant guys. But if you there's one particular person, and he was a psychiatrist. I mentioned the guy, Jacobo Greenberg. He was a Mexican. Most of his books are in Spanish. Unfortunately, I've read a couple. It's very hard to read his books because I don't speak Spanish. Unfortunately, I have enough on speaking English. Great language, I just can't speak it. Jacobo Greenberg was immaculate. He was a psychiatrist who found out his patients, some of his mental health patients, was had an energy. They were able to. They were telling him things which he couldn't understand how they knew, and they got a few together and started putting them in different rooms. They realised they could communicate with each other. Anyway, he started writing essays and books, and then I think the CIA wanted him to work. In fact, I know they did. They wanted him to work for them, and he turned them down. Said, "No, I get freedom in what I'm doing." Then he got mathematicians involved and tried to put the numbers to it and gave it proper coordinated response to what his findings, and it was brilliant. The guy disappeared. I think he disappeared at 1980, 82, 1982, which is an absolute shame. I don't know what disappeared to. I don't know. I'm not going to say he got kidnapped. Maybe he just had enough of life and just went walkabout. Um, but I don't think he'd be around now because, like I say, I think he was quite 40 or 50 then. I think so. So unfortunately, he won't be here now anyway. But he was incredibly clever. But I mentioned him because that's exactly the same method what the alien beings talk about. mind control um, and, and certain government departments are using. Just what Jacobo Grimberg were mastering, how he got his patients to communicate, not just from one room to the another. He put them halfway around the world, some of them, and they were able to um, see things, that energy. He didn't give them drugs. I know, like that Mansell guy, the CIA gave him drugs and to enhance his ability. And I know certain government labs do give uh, leucin drugs to enhance people's abilities, but he didn't. These were just normal people, no drugs involved, and they were just very good at what they did. They could actually see things and what they shouldn't see. Um, but anyway, it's that power. You often, quite occasionally, I've come across people who have this power and they can move things, power of the mind. Not many, but I have come across it myself. So I know it's possible. So when you think about, just like the aliens saying to many people, we're going to think from going before we go, and then we're just going to go. Well, when I see the craft itself, quite often it will change shape and disappear. Obviously, I'm not going now. I'll do it another day. But metals and certain metals, and which isn't magical metals, it's metals. And react with a certain frequency, and once you put these frequencies through it, the metal does distort as if it can change shape to absorb different things and what have you. And why it does that, still nobody knows. Maybe it's to because it needs to go incredible. The gravitation force is what it goes with. Maybe it's to and time differential. Maybe it's to stop it from falling to bits. Not quite sure. Maybe it would take a long while for us to learn that. But anyway, it's that ability what we've lost. That's what I thought I'd mention, because you think about it, quite more females than chaps have the ability than chap, and they've got this deja vu and able to see things like poltergeists and things, and that's again same sort of energy line what I've mentioned before. And you think, where's it coming from? It's because I remember talking to somebody years ago, a quite a religious person, and he explained it quite more sufficiently than any scientist I've ever met. Let's think of a human being an energy form. Sort of people go and see church and pray, which is nice, but I myself and a lot of people don't feel like you need to that. I feel God's all round, and I realise now, I don't need to go to a big church to pray. I can do it in my front room. He's everywhere, and that's what's happened. You see, to us, I think, as well. Over the last 1,000 years, we've been basically manipulated to say, well, downtrodden, and you can't do that. Only a certain person can do this, and a certain person can do that. Got to wear a special gown and all this, but it's basically all cobblers. All the religions, no matter what they are, we're all equal. We're all equal, and all we have to do. I've somebody passed on to me some years ago. Totally, basically, ground ourselves. The easiest way is take your shoes off and socks off, and just stand quietly outside on the grass, and just be quiet and not think about nothing for 10 minutes. Don't think about anything, no matter what worries you have. Take shoes and socks off, just think and stand on the grass. It's not magic. And then just stand there, quietness. Don't have to play no music, no frequencies, and just do that. And when you do that, just ask, just connect with yourself, and it's true. the people who told me these things are totally right, because no matter how fast or how far we get up in space, the same being made everything. We all interlocked, including the aliens up there and everything else. That's I think they understand it more than we are. I don't think they're probably religious as us. And maybe a lot of them lost it because they've gone more AI, and a lot of them developed artificial beings. But that's different. That's I'm not going to go off the thing. I'm just going to talk about how frequencies are. We've lost our interaction with frequencies, yet the aliens are still using it or manipulated it to travel great distances. Because end of the day, what are we? You know, people say deja vu, and if you think it, well, I think deja vu, and I've seen it happen a few times. And if that's the case, it's like Alpha and Omega in the Bible. Um, it's beginning and end, so it's pre-wrote and pre-wrote, and it's always been wrote, and therefore it's all foretold. And how can that be? You know, it just makes you think. So if it is foretold, so maybe every now and then there's electrical interference, and we can jump across it, and people see these and see different things. But yeah, the easiest way I found is basically just go outside barefoot, and then just don't ask anything. Just relax. Don't just think and just ask yourself what you want to ask, and hopefully you get an answer. But Jacob Grinberg was mastering these sort of technologies, and it's I say technology because it is today, because um, it's what we've lost, what we could have been doing thousands of years ago. That's just sat there. You know, God was all around, and the being we just asked. Now we've been told, oh, that's a dangerous thing to do. Because imagine if everybody did that, there'd be no hierarchy, would there? You know, and it's just as if there's two frequencies around us. That's how. And what I know of certain government departments, they are fighting. The one thing what frightens them more than anything else, and they're all the same, no matter which country, is the God element, because God can interact, and that's the one bit they can't control. Yet, if you start putting chemicals in the sky and messing about with the gland in his brain and things, and putting things in the water, they can. You see, all these things, pineal gland, which it affects, and unfortunately, that's what's been messing about with us. Because you think about it, it's not. It isn't complicated stuff. You think of just two frequencies. It's not many, just two frequencies. And it doesn't matter if we know. We don't need to have a number. And just think of good and bad, and that's it. It's and it's no good scientists saying it doesn't exist. It's like saying the moon is not hollow, and moon is just a moon. You know, and the seven planets. What out there? What I can't name. I can't forget names now. But doesn't affect the way we feel. And the sun doesn't affect. Of course it does. It's like when we go in warm weather, it affects us. It makes us happier. When it's dark and cloudy, we feel a bit down. It all when these things lined up, it does affect us. And it seems the moon. The moon isn't a natural phenomena. It's hollow. I think it's 30, or it's quite hollow anyway. It's very hollow. It was it you know, I think it's beyond mathematical measurement. You could put the moon in that coordinates and let it be that distance and be hollow. It's impossible. So you put all these things. What are they hiding from us? So basically, all I say is take your feet up, your shoes off your feet, go on the grass, don't ask anything for anybody, and just think about it, relax for 10 minutes quietness, and see what happens. But yeah, but this it's the same. I know it doesn't sound the same, but it's the same. What you're looking into is what the aliens are looking into. It's just doing it different. We're doing it because we have got the ability. We have the energy already in us to do it. You see, we don't need to be the things what's happening awful in the world today. Because they're getting energy of us. You know, these things, what's that awful things happening in the world, because when we're in distress, we give off energy, and more so when we are distressed. So certain things can feed off it, you see. But naturally, a human being, we don't need. We've got our own energy. We are the energy. So it's cobblers to say all this is that we need that. It doesn't. They need us more than anything else. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing some of these awful things what's coming out at the minute. Because not going into it, but you know, children, all sorts of awful things. Because unfortunately, when a person does come off arm, we give off an incredible amount of energy, and it's like a food, like a drug to certain other people, not just people but creatures as well. Because if once you master the frequencies, as they've done, and I know the Canadian MOD said they're quite friendly and all this, which is cobblers. They're not friendly at all. Some of they're just horrible. And at the end of the day, some of them they can manipulate what you see. They can walk down your town, and they could be 9 foot and 10 foot tall. And it wouldn't stand out to you. You'd only see what they want you to see because they can manipulate your brain, just like the MOD's been mastering for 70 years. See, and all these things in the sky and everything else. All it is just to make a certain creature more, so it's more pliable for them, not us. See, nothing's what you see is benefit to human race. You think about it, all your best inventions from the radio frequencies, what can make us better from 1900, we don't see. They change it to tablet forms and what's filled with oil and everything else. There's no benefit to us. And before the Rockefellers took over and started, and the Rothschilds, before they took over all the medication companies, it was more natural, herby based, which was better for us. And they were mastering magnetical energy, and Tesla and Marie Curie and Royal Wife, which obviously was healing. So yeah, what we see is not what we're getting. If we went back and forget the scrambling and try to drink some decent water, which is hard to do, and stop spraying the crops and the air, maybe our pineal glands would have a chance to be at one with the nature, but then that wouldn't suit the hierarchy who's living off everybody else. But on the positive side, try it. I think if more people just try to realize they are the energy, you are the energy, people are the energy. It was empower. It empowered people, if I'm honest. Empower less power to our people who we're working for, MPs and the state and the ridiculous medication companies, and it's just and armory companies. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, all these things, whether Englishman, American, or Russian, Ukraine, African, Chinese, put us all together, we get on quite well. And none of us would fall out, and normal guys, we wouldn't fall out. It's them who's winning it. They want us to be. The rest of us, we just want to get on with it, or we'd all get on well. It's just the very top few. It's those are the pain who's actually, and those who's actually been unpicked to. And that's, if you notice, when you look at the old Epstein, look at the folks who's going there. You don't see a dustbin man or a milkman go to his island, do you? No, it's all selected people who's running the shop, including actors and singers and politicians and billionaires. That's the thing. It's funny old world, but yeah. So I genuinely think, going back to alien beings, not all alien beings are awful. Don't get me wrong. There's quite a lot out there. But yeah, there's some disgusting things, and but like us, not everybody's bad, are we? Most, like I say, 9 billion people. I think most of us are all right. But it's just there's a core out there what's been going there for 1,000 years, and they've manipulated everything. They've manipulated science, manipulated geography, so we can't find anything. Manipulated religion, and food and water and music, and even the frequency of music, what we listen to. It's so and the things we watch. Things on TV. They're all programs what's got angriness in it, and you put anything on instantly, it'd be something angry. Yeah, it's not an accident. Yeah, no, it's not. But what do I know? But I hope you like it. It is truly about alien frequencies. This, it really is. It's just the same frequency, the same energy. What poltergeist, everything what we can tap into. God element, I shall call it. That's what the MOD would call it. That's why I would call it the God element. And that's the one thing nobody can stop you from contacting. Nobody. Just persevere. Stand on the grass. Don't need drugs or anything to enhance you, and see what happens. If it doesn't happen first time, try again and see. Anyway, I hope you like that. God bless. If you do get a chance to subscribe, that'd be brilliant. I'm not at work tomorrow, so I'm going to do another one tomorrow. Specifically, like I was saying earlier about the materials for which a certain person told me years ago of the structure of alien craft, which is quite interesting, which isn't too alien-y, to be honest. It's quite shocking, really. But I suppose, it's metals at the end of the day. Anyway, God bless. Thanks for listening. Again, just hope you reach out, and good night to everybody, and God bless. Thank you for listening.